Okay, sweet Scorpio. Oh, and here is your reading. So the very first card I see is the Two of Wands. Wands can be movement, fire, activity. Two is finding balance. And this is, the wands here are lighting up for me. So it feels like you have been releasing a lot of energies, a lot of situation, maybe habits that don't work for you anymore, and kind of planning towards the future. Really opening up your world and looking at what is available, not just what's in your little town or your state or your country, but this looks like a broader scope of looking at the future, kind of like a worldwide. And it feels like redoing bucket lists and kind of bringing things up to present time. This key here is lighting up for me too, and it feels like you have been releasing a lot of family legacy issues, things that really don't serve anymore, and things that really do not propel you into your greatness. So it looks like some of the family legacies, whether it's addictions or manipulations, things like that, it looks like you have decided that you're not going to join in on that game anymore, that it is destructive for you. So it really feels like you have taken a step up in your communication, as well as your kindness for others and your balance for yourself. So the orangish color here is lighting up. So you've really been doing some self-care, some self-healing, and taking the time to look at things honestly and release them. So congratulations, Scorpio. That's really a great card. What crosses you is sometimes the fantasy of what it woulda, coulda, shoulda. If I did it this way, it might have happened that way. Kind of looking at things a little bit through a clouded vision. But sometimes we need to look at the things that either regrets or things we wish that we had done differently in order to let go of them. So that is also part of the process, but don't get stuck in your head too much, Scorp. Keep releasing. You've been doing a great job. And this card can also stand for kind of a bucket list thing too, redoing your wildest dreams. You know, you may have already met and mastered or conquered these couple of things. So now it's time to clean out your emotional closet and set some new goals and set some new dreams and visions for yourself. So that looks like that's happening right now. Temperance card here is finding the balance. It's finding the great balance between work and pleasure. It's finding the balance between family and friends. Also being able to speak your truth and finding your groundedness. This third eye here is lighting up for me. So Scorpios, it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you have rejoined your spiritual journey, however that looks for you, whether it's in a church or whether it's in nature, but just taking the time to center, ground yourself in present time and release anything that doesn't serve you anymore. So it looks like that will continue through the month of May, and that you are adopting new ways to get in touch with your own vision, your own answers to your life-burning questions. The red wings are lighting up for me as well, and it feels like a lot of the anger and the frustration from the past that maybe have been a driving force for you to make some changes or prove others wrong. It looks like that you have really let go of some of the resentments and the anger around situations from the past, that it really doesn't serve you, and you've lightened your load, your spiritual load, a lot. This crown is lighting up for me as well, and that really feels like you're getting more and more in touch with the God of your heart, the spirit of your heart, and getting your own answers from within. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to find teachers to teach you the way, but it's also okay to just go inside. And, you know, if we're really still and we can get the answers to all of our questions and all of our challenges, because they all reside inside of us. And it looks like you're getting closer and closer to doing that more often for yourself. So therefore, it's kind of freeing you, releasing you from some of the shackles and some of the challenges from your childhood, from your past. You're no longer bringing them into your present relationships. So you're really making a clear separation from the past, moving forward into your greatness. Sorry, my dog is making all sorts of noise here. Rebecca, lay down. Anyway, so here is the Two of Swords, and this is a very protective card. You know, when we're out and about in public, or we take a risk and kind of take the walls down and show our vulnerability a little bit. Sometimes on a greater scale, we get a little bit too much energy or a little bit too much attention on us. So it does look like you're in the past, this is in the past position, that you have created kind of a protection to yourself. And, you know, make sure that you're not so guarded that you aren't able to accept the positive into your life. But it does look like you're really guarded. It doesn't look like from one person or another, but it just feels like you're more visible in the world now. And this could be more visibility at work. You know, it's kind of the CYA, or cover your ass, as we used to say in the day. But it does look like you are protecting yourself a little bit more from things, either at work or in the public eye, kind of creating a public persona that may be a little bit guarded. So the present time is the Ace of Swords, and I love these aces. Aces are a total validation of when you are on your path and when you're going in the right direction. So all this work that you have done, beautiful Scorpio, and you have done a ton of work of release and really working on how you present yourself. So it looks like you are on the right track, and you're heralding in the new. It does feel like there's a new endeavor that you're putting some energy, some time, maybe a little money into. It could be starting your own business, but something new is brought great excitement to you. And it does feel like it's more on the work and passion level versus the relationship level, I should say. And it also looks like the sword is lighting up here, like you've been able to really cut through the jive, cut through the weirdness, and put things into perspective for yourself. And it does look like you've had a huge shift of awareness on things that work for you, things that don't. So all that work that you've done the end of last year, and the beginning of this year, kind of releasing the toxic situations, the people that are not reciprocal in your life, and really making those changes, cleaning out the closets physically as well. So it looks like you're on the right path, and you're heralding in the new, and you're pretty darn excited about it. So it does look like it will continue for the next couple of months. But, you know, keep going, keep putting those positive vibes, keep holding that vision, and it is starting to manifest in the physical world for you. So you're getting a little more validated. And it does look like some money may be coming to you in a positive way. Through this endeavor or through word of mouth. This card is the Eight of Pentacles, and Pentacles are kind of a working card. They're kind of a collecting card, and this is collecting of information. So many of you may be thinking about going to school, signing up for a class, something of that nature, or even doing research on the web for your next endeavor or the next part of your of this great possibility that you are creating. So now is the time to really start collecting the information, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, figuring out how to do the operations of this situation. But it may be just as simple as going back to school for yourself, maybe not for an endeavor, but just because. But this does feel like a collecting of information card for you, Scorpio. The card that is the foundation, this is also an 8. So you have some 8s here, and 10s are usually the completion of things. 9s are, it's like, hang on, you're almost there. 8, it's like you can see see the end of the tunnel. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it is not a train type of thing. So you're getting more and more certain in your new endeavors and a little more self-confident. But you've had to walk away from some things that felt really comfortable for you in the past that were not working anymore. And this may be relationships, it may be friendships, it may be a job, houses, you name it. But whatever it was for you, Scorpio, that really wasn't working for you, even though all the signs said they were, you have made the choice to walk away. It's pretty scary to walk away into the unknown, but it does look like you are manifesting very, very quickly once you have rid yourself of some of the patterns that were not necessarily propelling you into forward motion. So once you reorganized your life and speaking your truth a little bit more, you've had to walk away, but it really feels like you're ready to make that move. And it does feel like you've already started that motion of walking away from people, places, and things that do not benefit you. So that, if it hasn't already started, it will start soon. The moon here is lighting up for me, so you have a vision, you have that internal drive. The moon really stands for what's happening inside of us. You know, all the positive and negative, but it does look like you are going towards your vision, and you're very driven, which is great. Especially at this month with all the planets kind of hanging around Taurus, that can be a very driven month for you. So it can propel you in a little bit quicker in towards the things that you want to learn and to put your energy and time in. But it does look like it's time for a new view for you, and you're really looking on how to create that, whether it's physically moving, new jobs, new sets of friends, things like that. But it does look like you have released yourself from some of the agreements of the past that really weren't working for you, and are going more towards the internalized things that you want to manifest into the physical world. The High Priestess is here, and she's a lovely card. She is right next to all this learning and creating and releasing. So it really does look like you are getting closer and closer to your spiritual self and finding your balance, able to release and to also manifest at the same time. And it really feels like you're coming into your confidence, and you're coming into your growth. And, you know, Scorpios, you can throw stuff at Scorpios that most other sign cannot handle. And you have passed a lot of the ugly tests over the last couple of years. And so now it's time for you to nurture your own spiritualism, however that looks for you, whether it's, you know, a tree or whether it's God. But really finding the calmness in you, finding how not to be so affected by other people's opinions, and you've really found a very good balance. And it feels like you're starting a regimen, if you haven't already, starting a regimen of checking in every day with yourself, with your heart, with spirit, and truly listening, and having a lot more confidence. It really feels like you are growing into your confidence and your certainty in the matters. And it does look like people are kind of coming to you for advice, and they may continue doing that through May and June. But it does look like you have your finger on the pulse of a lot of information that people are interested in achieving, and finding out how you do that. So that might be what some of this tumultuous energy is here too. A lot of focus on you and kind of guarding yourself. That's what the guarding yourself is. Because as you get closer and closer to your truth, you know, we let our inner light shine. And I know when I'm truly grounded and I'm out there in the world, sometimes because I have my light shining so brightly, I do attract a lot of moths. But you know, moths need need love too. And so don't spread yourself too thin on helping others and forgetting what your goals and your journey is. So the 3 is here. You have a couple of kind of travel cards, and it does look like looking out into the distance. This can be traveling near water. Water is here in both these cards, so it wouldn't surprise me if you are saving, planning, creating some kind of a large trip where it, more than a weekend jaunt, where you visit a place or you stay someplace that has a lake, a river, an ocean, something like that. But it does feel like you're prioritizing things so you can make room for this kind of dream come true. I know that I have a lovely Scorpio friend that just all of a sudden decided to save $20 a week so she can get to Italy, and then when she has a little bit more, she puts a little bit more in the Italy fund. So this is kind of feeling like that type of thing where you're letting go of some things that kind of drain you financially, so you can prioritize to create this big dream. It doesn't necessarily have to be travel too. It could be saving for a new car, moving, something like that. But it does look like you're prioritizing your energies as well as your finances, so you can create some of the fun things in life. This is lighting up for me a little bit, so it does feel like the green is on here, like you're growing, you are prioritizing, you're releasing some things. This dark here is there's still some stuff in the background that you're working on that you haven't quite completed releasing, but it's in the making. Don't give up. So the 4 of Wands is here, and this looks a little tumultuous. This is kind of a staticky. Communication can be a little funky. It can also mean for way too much energy on you, way too much attention to you, kind of unwanted attention. It is spring also, so it can stand for flirting. It can stand for male to female energy, or I don't want to say male to female energy, that kind of limits, but sexual energy or flirty energy that is maybe a little uncomfortable. So as you let your light shine, sweet Scorpio, which is what is happening, it won't surprise me if you have a little bit more attention and maybe some unwanted flirting that you really didn't bargain for. So, just be grounded, separate yourself, and be on your way. But if you can use it as a validation that you are grounded and you are letting your light shine, it may not be so annoying to you. To the left of it is the Queen of Swords, and swords are usually an exalted sign. A sword is an air sign. That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So there may be, and it feels like it's a female valence, someone that's a little over 30. So it may feel like you're being pulled in many directions right now. And, make sure that you make appointments with yourself and carve out some time, because there's going to be a lot of needy people or needing stuff right away from you. And it really feels like there is one in particular that is a person of the heart that you have to have a really heart-to-heart talk with. It does feel like this person is very capable, but she or he continually is coming to you to solve some problems that she is very capable of dealing with. So you may have to have a little chat with them about releasing your responsibilities, and that she is perfectly capable. Don't be afraid. You can do this. I know sometimes Scorpios can be a little biting, but if you're really present and kind of amp up that kindness, I think that she'll be able to hear you, and it won't cause a problem. She will be fine with it, but you may have to pull her aside. It does not look like it's going to resolve on its own. There is a 5 on the other side of this, so you have kind of midstream stuff. This looks like a battle that you have just released. You no longer want to fight it. It looks like you won part of the battle, but it was just too ego driven. And this is feeling more like it has something to do with work. So, pick your battles type of thing, but it really feels like I'm done with this thing. If you guys want to continue this jive, that's fine. There's a lot of green here. I'm feeling you have grown past the situation. You have grown past the kind of community agreement. This also may be with friends that you have kind of outgrown. They may be still doing some of the things that you did 10 years ago and you kind of outgrown that. So it's time for you to take your leave. It doesn't mean that it's going to be negative in any way or there'll be a fight or something awful. It just means you need to step back from it because you're really not in that kind of, and it feels like an immature situation that you're really not in that anymore, and you've kind of grown past that. You're looking at the big picture, and these folks that were very loving and supportive in the past, could be work related, could be work friendship as well, that you're just not there anymore. So you don't have to point out their failings or anything. It's just not in your flow. It's just not in your flow, and it doesn't bring you joy anymore. So that is a reading, sweet Scorpio, for the month of May. I'm going to throw a couple of these chakra cards and see, just for clarity. Usually they pop right up. There you go. There's the enlightenment. And that's kind of what's happening to you, sweet Scorpio. You're becoming more and more enlightened, and the little piddly things don't really bother you because in the scheme of things, in the large picture, they don't really matter. It's about the lesson and how you deal with it, not so much getting stuck in the lesson itself. So wisdom. So there you go. You're pulling on your wisdom. You're pulling on your enlightenment. You're looking for answers. And Scorpios are the mask peelers. We peel masks off jive, and we don't sit in that jive for too long. So that's kind of what's happening to you. You're being looked at as the wise one, the enlightened one, and at the same time you are continuing to learn. So keep up the good work, Scorpio. I'm so proud of all the motion that you've had over the last couple of months,